Welcome to. Are we on number 18? How many of these episodes have we done?
We're on number 17.
Episode 17 of those Muckrakers, the shouty radio people, the voice of the resistance. We're like the BBC during World War II. We're the light in the darkness while all this bullshit is happening. I'm Pete.
And I'm Pat.
And yeah, what a fucking week it's been. So I just told you there was another school shooting in Indiana.
There's been another school shooting? Tell us about it, Peter.
That was a real good radio setup. Like, oh no, there's been another school shooting. Slide whistle. Woo! Tell us about it. Well, apparently, a kid walked into a middle school. I guess he was like, "Can I be excused for the bathroom?" And they were like, "Yeah." And he came back with two guns, and a science teacher tackled him to the ground, saving all the other students. But the teacher and one other student, I think, are in critical condition right now.
What was that? A good guy with a gun was able to stop a bad guy with a gun?
I think it was an underpaid science teacher that had just had enough.
What's that? A science teacher used the magic of science to teach the kids a lesson about behaving and following the rules?
Yeah, the magic of science was like, kids, let's do a physics problem. If these bullets are coming towards you and my body gets in the way, how many of you will be critically injured?
Now, kids, just so you know, the male human torso is an excellent silencer for gun rounds.
And they're still not done burying the kids from the Santa Fe shooting.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about how Fox News would probably spin this if they even acknowledged it happened. Which, I mean, I'm sure they haven't, but if they did, it would be something like science teacher shows students proper gun safety regulations.
No, if Fox News covered it, they would say that, like, biased liberal science teacher interferes with students' Second Amendment rights to fire his guns in class.
Or like crazed Antifa member today attacked a conservative science teacher, or something like that.
But that doesn't work because science is inherently liberal to them, right? Somehow, I don't know how the split happened, but in the divorce, we got science.
Yeah, it's
well, that's the weird thing. So
it's just interesting how the more someone knows, the less likely they are to be a GOP. That's weird how that happens.
That's what was really weird about the first round of the Nazis was they were like, we like this science, and like the second round was like, science is for liberals and homos. I don't know how that break happened. I don't know, man. Like I usually go wherever science.
Well, It's because the same thing was happening then as happening now, which is Hitler just wanted to surround himself with yes men and people that towed the party lines. And usually it's not people that are super smart that are towing the party lines, hook and crook.
The thing about Hitler and his science was there was a lot of really high-end science that came out of the Nazis, but there was also a lot of science that didn't make any sense that they just did because I guess when you got carte blanche and they're like, what do you want to do? There are no limits. They're like, well, what would happen if we sewed two twins to a cat? And they did a bunch of fucked up shit that had no scientific value. They also invented the rocket. But while they were inventing the rocket, they're like, what if we give a man feet for hands and hands for feet?
So if Trump ever comes out and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to announce that we just opened a tremendous science branch of government. We should be like super freaking out about that and not
it'll probably be the Donald J. Trump Science Museum for the Torture of Immigrants.
Yeah, just the Museum of the Damned.
Yeah. So speaking of immigrants, I wanted to jump right in this. I figured it out. I know who the stormtroopers are. I know who the I know who the what?
Gestapo.
Yeah, I know who the American Gestapo is. It's ICE and Border Patrol.
ICE? Why, I use that to chill my drinks. Why do you hate ICE, Peter?
Because some people use it to chill human beings and remove their life force.
Why, that sounds terrible. Why would they do that?
Well, like, I feel like you're just being patronizing. Well, this is the thing. Is like the problem with them and Border Patrol is they have broad, like undefined powers. Like a Border Patrol agent detained two ladies the other day. He's like, "Well, ma'am, I noticed y'all were speaking Spanish, and I do have reason to believe that you are illegals. Please step over here behind the vehicle." And you have to do it. Like if I was like anywhere in the United States and I just went up to you and I'm like, "Walda, donde está biblioteca?" Apparently, they have the right to detain me.
It's which way is the library? And
yeah.
It's like. Ooh, the library's this way. That seems like the prison to me. Yeah, that's where you're going now.
And
No!
so
Also, your children, they go to this warehouse on a military base.
So I was reading this article on Fox News, and as more I read it, the more I go, "Oh, this is insidious." It says environmental red tape stalls border agents trying to fill drug smuggler tunnels. So apparently, before you just start bulldozing these tunnels that are on top of protected wetlands, the environmentalists have to come in. The EPA has to make sure that it's like, safe to shut down these tunnels. And they go, "We're tired of having to babysit these drug tunnels." And I go, "Wouldn't that be great to catch more drug smugglers if you just left it open and arrested them as they came through?"
Yes.
Anyway, so the last line of this is what I felt really haunting. It says, "Our Border Patrol agents need the tools and the authority to secure our southern border without streamlining the bureaucracy, that won't happen." So, they basically want to give the Border Patrol agents more carte blanche. I don't know if you know this, but they already apparently are allowed to patrol 100 miles within the border, right?
Yeah.
So their jurisdiction is just 100 miles. From border to wherever.
But so just recently, actually it was today, I was watching the new episode of Sam B, and that's just another late night comedian. I think she's only on one day out of the week though. But she was running a special on ICE and suggested, well, maybe we should not try to fix it. We should just abolish it because it's only been around since 2003. It's still a very new thing. It doesn't actually provide any services that help anybody.
Nope.
They don't do anything that the normal police can't already do, and on top of that, they just seem to be like assholes for the sake of being assholes. They just fuck with people that are already established living in the United States, and they tear apart families and badly hurt people. And oh yeah, Trump has just recently, this week I think, given them permission to start destroying evidence of ICE agents raping people, torturing people, all kinds of stuff, sexual assault, all these crimes that have been perpetrated against immigrants, they now have permission to destroy.
Yep. Because they also said that immigrants.
Trump, that's another way that Trump is badly hurting people by letting criminals get away with so much more. As long as they're doing it to brown people, he doesn't care.
Well, also immigrants don't have the right to due process because they're not citizens.
Yeah, there's that too.
I'm trying to find the specific instance of it. So they're arguing about, do they have constitutional rights? But
there are certain things that they have, such as if they're sent back home and they will definitely die, they have what's it called, amnesty?
Yeah. Hold on, man. That's in the United Nations Bill of Rights, right? So that we all signed after what do you call it? After World War II.
Trump's already shown that he's super big on breaking promises that America made, and now he just gets to come in and fuck it all up because, I don't know, he's a monster.
Yeah, it was part of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and I'm going to pull up here the exact, I'm going to pull up the actual document, because, there was a document about, amnesty. Because there was an argument that if you were being if you were going to be murdered or killed in any other country and you're just it's Tuesday and they said we're going to cut everybody's head off on Tuesday that looks like me, I got to go, that any country that's part of the United Nations has to take them in. You have to. We signed it. It's not it's not a choice, or you should leave the United Nations if you can't,
And that's another way that Trump's badly hurting America for probably forever. This is some of the irreversible damage he's causing, is all the new precedents on under what circumstances can we deport people and send people away, or send refugees away, send asylum seekers away. And Jeff Sessions has already created the precedents that it's okay to just sort of interfere with a case and tell some lady to go home when she's like, my husband's going to kill me if you send me back. And Jeff Sessions is like, well, go on then. And then they have to go home, and she died.
Did he actively send her back?
Yeah.
Oh, she already dead?
Yeah.
I heard about that story.
Already happened.
I heard about that story 3 days ago. I thought she was still in the court system.
It might be a new lady because this is from months ago.
Okay, this must be a new lady because I was like, God damn! I was like, that's fast. I heard about this shit like 3 days ago. They already like got her back in the arms of her murderous husband. I was like, Jesus
He's been
Christ! Fucking, what did he put in a goddamn fun slide? Like, all right, listen, if you're a domestic abuser, I want you to just sit on the other side of the border and wait at the bottom of this fun slide. We're gonna send everybody back. So just wait till it's your wife or child, and then kill them as they come down. Because that was
Oh,
fucking quick.
don't worry, madam. We already contacted your husband and let him know you were coming home.
Yeah, apparently like this lady, like apparently she's gone to this lady's the court case that's going to decide if you can do that or not. Oh, here's a good one that I think is part of the problem. Everyone, this is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Everyone has the right to recognition everywhere as a person before the law. So I guess that would mean that you have all the rights of due process in the United States.
Oh, yeah, see, there we go.
All are equal before the law and entitled without any discrimination to equal protection of the law. All are entitled to equal protection against any discrimination in violation of this declaration, against any incitement to such demonstration. I guess they would argue, though, says who? Which law? Which law? Man's law? Thunderdome law.
I know that a lot of their arguments boil down to, well, they're here illegally. The undocumented workers are here illegally, so they're criminals, and criminals have zero rights anywhere. Fuck them.
But it says in Article 10 that everyone's entitled to full equality to a fair and public hearing by an independent and impartial tribunal in the determination of his rights, obligations, and of any criminal charges against him. But we're just locking people up, man.
And when I say there, I'm referring to like mostly deplorables you see on Facebook.
And here's the other thing. I guess it's not all bad. Are you ready for my? You ready for my? It's cute news. Since you wanna throw some cute news out. You ready for? You ready for Peter Van Pelt's? Oh, that's cute news of the week.
I am. What's your that's cute news?
Federal agencies have lost track of nearly 1,500 migrant children placed with sponsors.
Oh, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So, child trafficking, or?
The children were taken into government care after they showed up alone at the southwest border. Most of the children are from Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala and were fleeing drug cartels, gang violence, domestic abuse. The agency's Office of Refugee Resettlement tried to reach 7,635 children and their sponsors. From these calls, they learned that about 6,000 children remained with their sponsors, 28 had run away, 5 had been removed from the United States, and 52 had relocated to live with a non-sponsor. But officials at the agency were unable to determine with certainty the whereabouts of 1,475 children.
Christ.
Mm-hmm. So we don't know. They may have been sold into like child trafficking. We have no idea where they're at. We have no idea. 1,400, almost 1,500 kids.
Well, damn. We, God, my that's cute news is ties to the whole North Korea thing that's been going on this week.
Did we lose track of North Korea too?
Kind of. It's more like they want to lose track of us. We lost track of when and where a meeting between.
Oh no! But they're playing a fantastic game. Like I don't know, because I know, and this is my that's racist news of the week. You're gonna get a lot of this from me, but I'm pretty sure that Asians are real good at like tennis and like ping pong and stuff like that. They enjoy the sports of knocking balls back and forth, right?
I think that Forrest Gump is real good at ping pong. But
well, that's what's happening right now. We have Forrest Gump for president, so they're ping ponging this meeting back and forth. And
well, it's like Forrest Gump if he wasn't talented, couldn't run, and yeah, that's about it.
Well, like they ping pong the meeting back, and they go, and it's great. They go, we'd love to meet anytime.
Right. After they canceled the meeting, their own state media said that he's ready to see him anytime. But of course, that's state media. That's like Fox News saying that Trump is willing to see Kim Jong Un anytime, which they also did. So both of our state medias have said that the two of them are ready to meet, and it's not true in both cases. Because what happened, if anyone's not aware, is Trump made a huge deal about how this is a major thing that he could have actually accomplished in his presidency, is bringing an end to the 70-odd year Korean War between North and South Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he didn't do shit, but he asked South Korea to give him partial credit because South Korea and partially China helped get talks between North and South Korea going again. However, while they were doing that, Trump was like ranting and raving on Twitter, making fun of Kim Jong Un. But he makes fun of hundreds and hundreds of people. Before he was elected president, New York Times had a list of the 600 people, places, and things Trump had made fun of on Twitter. So them trying to say that specifically his tweets about Kim Jong Un brought an end to this ancient war is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But whatever. That was the angle they were gunning
Well,
for.
what's your cute news?
I'm getting to it.
Oh,
I've got to like build up to it.
I'm getting to it. Fine. Get to it then.
The landmine John Bolton is what North Korea is calling John Bolton. No, actually, no. Wait, that was South Korea. I read that correctly. South Korea called him landmine John Bolton and said that he's actually the one that broke up the talks between America and North Korea, because he's the one that went on TV saying that they want to use the what's it called, the Syrian model for dealing with North Korea. And the Syrian model is whenever they have
an unwinnable civil war that's supported by basically as a proxy war between Cold War enemies. Isn't that what North Korea already is?
They got Syria to disarm their nuclear weapons, and as soon as that happened, the leader of Syria at the time...
you're talking... do you mean Libya?
Libya. Oh, did I mix that up again?
Yeah, you should work for the Trump administration, and that you're just like, yeah, no,
whatever.
yeah,
Libya. They wanted to use the Libyan model
because we got crazy ass Gaddafi to give up his nukes, and then he got
then a bayonet enema.
Yeah, he got a bayonet enema. Yeah. I thought, because I was about to be like, dude, Syria is like the second Korean War, because the Korean War was the prototype of Syria, where it's an unwinnable civil war backed by two opposing superpowers.
Well, either way, and Pence has made things worse too by tweeting. But anyway, that finally brings us to that's cute.
What's
news.
cute?
What's cute is that when Gaddafi was hunted down and drugged through the streets and then murdered, Vladimir Putin actually has the videotape of that happening. It was recorded. He has his hands on the VHS, and he actually watches it all the time, in a loop.
That's super weird. That's as weird as Trump talking to Sean Hannity every night on the phone and going, "You guys wouldn't believe it. I'm talking to lumpy Sean Hannity. He's so cute. Do you think he'd ever go out with me?"
Yeah. So, speaking of weird bedfellows, well, we all know that Trump doesn't even know his wife's name. Whenever she came back from the hospital,
he called her Melanie, right? Or
Melanie. He called her Melanie. He doesn't know his fucking wife's name. But anyway, who he does go to bed with, besides a bacon double cheeseburger every night, is Lumpy Hannity. Apparently, he calls up Hannity, and they talk on the phone right up until Trump's ready to go to bed. But sometimes after he gets off the phone, he gets up and leaves his room to, piss or something, and while he's out in the hallway, if he runs into anyone, he's like, "Guess who I was just on the phone with? Sean Hannity." He brags about talking to Sean Hannity the way most people would brag about talking to the president.
You know what would be amazing? What if Sean Hannity got hit on the head and had a moment of conscience and was like, maybe I should talk the president into doing things that help people?
That would be great. I mean, it's the same way how whenever Trump started saying, maybe we should take people's guns away first and then have them go through due process to find out if they should get their guns back or not.
Right.
You know how if someone's driving like a fucking maniac, you impound their car, and then after they go through the court system, maybe they can get their car and license back, right?
Yeah.
If they're caught drunk driving, they lose their license, and maybe they can get it back once they've gone through the court system. Do that, but with guns. Again. Treat guns like cars.
Can we stop and talk about that great movie idea? So Sean Hannity has a weird crisis of conscience moment, and all of a sudden, then he starts trying to advise the president.
But whenever Trump said that, he got cornered by the NRA. They talked to him for 5 minutes, and he came back out, and he's like, "Never mind, I like guns." But anyway, continue.
Yeah, but that's a great movie idea. It's Sean Hannity has a heart attack, or he gets hit on the head or something, and he's just like, "Oh my God, I suddenly have empathy." And so then he has to walk back everything and try to guide the president in a better way.
I have a better idea. You know those old movies where a parent and a kid make a wish at the same time, they blow out a candle and they switch bodies?
Yeah.
Maybe if Hannity had a liberal kid, then the two of them could swap bodies, and then child Hannity in Sean Hannity's body has to try to talk the president out of
Wait,
nuclear
hold on.
annihilation or
Even better,
something.
even better. We just take the liar liar formula, and a kid goes, "I wish that president." Like it's a little immigrant kid, and he's just like, it's his birthday, but like he's in like custody, and everything sucks, and he's just like,
I wish Lumpy couldn't lie for
"Oh
one
no, no, no,
day,
it's even better."
sir.
He's like, I wish the president couldn't be a dick for a whole day." And so, like, so now every time the president's like, you know what? I think that all immigrants should be given complete human rights. And everyone's like,
Be
what?
given basic human rights.
What
Huh?
did what did he just say? I think.
Hold on, I'll
Okay,
tweet
listen.
it.
What we need to do with our borders is we need to completely open them up for people seeking asylum. What is happening right now? I'm gonna make this movie. I'm gonna make the movie where it's like Liar Liar 2. This time we fix the fucking president.
Guns do kill people. Guns do kill. Okay, now hold on. People kill people, not guns kill people. They make it so much easier to kill people. Oh, a child can do it. Ah, cavemen can do it. Okay,
He
Big
just
Louie.
tells the truth. Listen, I think we need to train our law enforcement to be
Ma- ma-
a little bit more, just a little bit harder on other law enforcement people that are abusing power. What? What? No. I mean,
My
what
inauguration
happens is
crowds. Oh, they were so big for like a grocery store line.
I
They were
think
I mean they were the yeah they were big relative to a bus station stop. Oh no.
I think that black people are absolutely normal people. Like, just like he just says everything that like, you know what? Okay, look. Okay, it's called America. If you don't want to if you don't want to respect the flag, maybe you don't have to. What? No, that's not what I was. That's not what
I
I was
think
trying
that
to say.
I
was trying to
believe that
say.
all these NFL people who are taking the knee is so constitutionally okay. Uh-oh.
Trump,
I
liar,
believe
liar,
that
too, coming to a fucking theater
what
near
they're
you this
what they're
summer.
showing our troops, okay, what they're showing our troops is yeah, they're being respectful because our troops fought for their ability to protest. Damn it.
Listen, everybody knows that, everyone says that, like, Donald Trump, he really doesn't care about the troops, okay? He doesn't, he has zero military experience. Wait, what?
You know who's a loser? That Donald Trump. He lied and said he had bone spurs. You know who's a hero? John McCain. He was a war prisoner for. Oh no! Did I just say that backwards?
And let me tell you, his penis is so large.
Oh God! Actually, I have. That's cute news about John McCain.
Oh, what's happening now? It's like, as his cancer, like sped up.
It's where is it? Fuck. I just wrote it down. I saw someone tweeting about it, and I read it, and I was like, "Aw, that's sad." They tweeted, "This is just a reminder that in exactly 1 week, John McCain is going to announce his retirement, a day after the deadline for a special election, so that the Republican governor of Arizona can appoint a Republican and/or one of McCain's family members instead."
Normally
So that
normally I'd hate that, but I would rather one of McCain's family members than anybody else, I think.
yeah, his daughter's sane. How old is she? Can she be a senator?
I think so. I mean, because here's again, like here's the problem: is like McCain. There's a lot of stuff I don't like about McCain, but when it comes down to it, I don't think McCain is out to hurt people. I think he might have some misguided ideas, and you know what? It's like Kasich.
Yeah.
We always go back to like
Yes.
Kasich.
It's how I feel about Nancy Pelosi. I don't agree with all of her ideas, but I don't think she actively wants to murder people.
Yeah, my problem. Okay, so let's get into my problem with Pelosi and Schumer. We talked about this, and this was a bigger theme we've hammered on before. I don't like Pelosi and I don't like Schumer because I think they need to get the fuck out because we need real leadership right now in a time of crisis. But we don't need you, Pelosi. We especially don't need fucking Republican Chuck Schumer with his glasses and his fucking speeches. Have you listened to a Schumer speech?
Yeah, he's they're both basically just watered down Republicans.
Yeah,
But
and Schumer's
beyond that,
Schumer. All he does is describe stuff. Like every time something happens, like Schumer will like read a paper with his glasses, and he's just like, "America need." And I do a terrible Schumer, but this is what it feels like. The pavement on the streets is very hard, and when our children fall on it, they could be injured.
What's that one?
Fuck you,
Com-
Schumer.
What's that one comedian's name? He was on like The Critic, and all he was doing was just singing about things he saw.
Oh, wait, that wasn't The Critic. That was an episode of Family Guy, and you're talking about great,
Yeah.
famous singer-songwriter Randy Newman.
Randy Newman. Yeah, Schumer's basically the Randy Newman of politicians.
I wouldn't call that because Randy Newman is talented. When we get done with the podcast, you need to go listen to a little Randy Newman song called "I Love L.A."
Okay.
It's real fun. But yeah, like so. We were talking about immigration, and this is a point I meant to bring up. So we lost I'm just going to round it up. So we have lost track of 1,500 kids, right?
Yes.
Which they may be the lucky ones, but it turns out that children who were arrested by the Border Patrol agent, there are records of children being threatened with rape, made to stand nude in front of officers while answering questions, being called prostitute and dog, told they came to contaminate the country. When one pregnant minor told the agent she was in pain and needed medical help, she was not given help or taken to the hospital. The agent told her she was lying, that it was a scheme to get out of detention and see her family. In fact, she was having labor pains before a stillbirth. Many of the children in these reports are between the ages of 9 and 14.
Now, speaking of that kind of bullshit, was it on the podcast or was it before the podcast that I mentioned that Trump signed the thing that said that all the evidence of sexual harassment and assault can be just thrown out now?
I can't remember, but yeah, that's my problem is these agencies and they want to get...
If anyone listening isn't aware, any evidence of wrongdoing by ICE agents, they can now throw away as long as they perpetrated it towards an undocumented worker.
Yeah, so that's my problem. Here's the thing, and I think Trevor Noah said it best, and I love this. He said, here's the problem, and here's how you know there's a problem with your country. When immigrants want to come to your country, that's not a negative. That's a good thing. That means you live in a good country. Because people want to come here. They like what you're doing. But when immigrants stop coming to your country, you know that you have a problem. And if we continue down this path, immigrants are not going to be coming to our country. And that is a problem.
They actually have slowly started to stop. Like the flood of Mexicans coming in their caravans towards our borders has actually slowed down a lot since Trump became president.
Oh,
but
my God.
Tourism overall has basically grinded to a stop.
I heard this really amazing thing about how Sonora, Arizona, whatever, one of these places in Arizona used to be a premier spot for Mexicans on vacation. And so they're really trying to we got to hit the tourism and we're really kind of losing out on the Mexican tourism. And I go, why the fuck would they come here? Especially to fucking Arizona. Arizona has made it clear, if you're brown, go away. We killed the brown people, took this crappy desert land, and we don't want anybody else on it unless you're old and white. Dude,
what they're going to do is the ICE agents are going to find you your own vacation, you have everything, but you left your wallet back at the hotel. Too bad. Now you're going to be deported, probably to the wrong country. Your children are going to be
no, you won't be deported
somewhere.
Yeah, your children will be misplaced, and you'll be held in a federal detention center for an indeterminate amount of time because they have repealed the law that says you have to be given a trial and processed within a certain period of time, right? So you could be detained indefinitely. Someone's probably going to threaten to rape your children. Yeah.
And if your children do get raped, well, any evidence of that happening can now be thrown out, can now be destroyed.
I think ICE, I think the Department of Homeland Security needs to go away. I don't think we need that. I think we have enough agencies as it is. I think we need to get rid of the Gestapo needs to go, man.
Shit, speaking of Gestapo and illegal stuff, did you hear that Trump Jr. had a second illegal power meeting?
I love this. So
it feels like a million years ago, but yeah, it was right after our last podcast.
Yeah, so
a second meeting came out.
So they're like, there's no collusion with the Russians, and then someone's like, hey, what about that weird meeting where you met with the Saudis, the people from Saudi Arabia, and they were like, we'd like to influence your election, and you said, hell yeah, wasn't that collusion too? Who at this point, who the fuck hasn't Trump Jr. colluded with? Me and you. I think that's it.
Yeah, that our listeners know of.
Yeah, that our listeners know of. Hell, you know what? Maybe they did collude with me, and maybe I'm just don't remember it.
Yeah, the former head of Blackwater, and that's the mercenary people that we used a lot during the Iraq
You
War.
remember?
The
Oh,
former head
Blackwater.
of
Hold on,
Blackwater
let's.
hooked him up with an emissary for two Arab princes who said that from Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, they were eager to help him get like I don't know, dirt on Hillary Clinton. Oh no, wait, they were gonna set up like an online thing that would a social media specialist. They're gonna hook him up with that and do like this whole multi-million-dollar proposal to create a scam to help elect Trump. So
Dude,
that coming out led to Trump having an epic meltdown all Sunday long. Like most innocent people, he was ranting and raving on Twitter from sunup to sundown.
yeah, well, like, that's the
Oh,
whole.
also he didn't refute anything because he knows his son did it. He's just pissed that he was
Well,
caught.
okay, that's basic. That's bullshit 101. So here's what you do. Someone goes, "Hey, I believe that you broke some laws, and we're going to need to do an investigation." And so the thing to do is, "Nah, you broke laws. I'm going to investigate you." And that's like 101. And I don't even know why it works anymore. Like now, like we need to
Because
investigate.
Trump's above the law.
Yeah, that was the whole point we're making. So he's breaking laws left and right. You're not allowed to deal with foreign powers to influence an election. You're hell.
You're not allowed as president to have any sort of influence on private industry.
Right,
And
and
he
all
did
this
that
stuff
this
him
week
and
by
Pence are saying about the
tweeting about
NFL is illegal.
yeah, but they get to get away with it because they're above the law. They can do whatever they want.
I cannot wait till he starts trying to deport like NFL players because he said the other day, all right, so if you guys aren't paying attention to the news and we're your only news source, I feel sorry for you, but also not that sorry. The NFL just passed a rule saying that players either have to stay in the locker room or stand proudly. Stand proudly, not just stand proudly for the
Right,
national
and
anthem, or the team will be fined.
I love the deplorable saying they don't have to stand for the national anthem. They can just stay in the back in the locker room. It's like yeah, historically telling black people to get in the back is has worked out great, huh?
Yeah.
Fucking-
Well, I mean that's what they used to do back when America was great, making it
yeah,
great again.
it's not just black people that are kneeling, but I mean they are like the NFL is predominantly like 80% black, so it is basically just a race issue here, and old white people that lead the NFL trying to tell them what to do, and the president for some reason.
Well, so him and Pence's like comments about like the like influencing and stuff was it's breaking the fucking law.
Yep. But, just now, this is something that actually makes me feel good because it's amusing. Going back to his meltdown on Sunday, I sort of went through it and I created a highlights reel. So he starts by complaining about Hillary. Then he complains about the New York Times. Then he calls the story long and boring, aka begging his followers, who aren't exactly readers, not to read the story.
Wait, which story?
The story about his son colluding in Trump Tower.
Okay.
Uh,
totally boring. You wouldn't want to read it. Super boring. Don't read it.
yeah, he yells witch hunt. He complains.
Which hunt? Wait. Do you think he actually is trying to ask which hunt we're talking about? The collusion
Oh, and he's just
hunt?
misspelling it.
Yeah. So we're like, oh, he's yelling witch hunt. He goes, no, I mean like which hunt? Are you hunting for the evidence I keep under my bed? Are you hunting for the illegal stuff on my computer? What do you? Which hunt? Which hunt are we talking about?
He complains about Hillary some more. He says the investigation, which he again insists is a witch hunt, is too expensive and should end. Never mind that it cost Americans multiple orders of magnitude more money to pay for his fucking golf trips every single goddamn weekend. Witch hunt, he says again. Then he complains about Hillary some more. Then next is more Hillary. Then he complains about Cohen being raided, which he says is so unfair. And that finally leads to him demanding to know why the people that are investigating him are not being investigated because of Spygate. Okay, you're calling it that. He tries to tell us that we're calling it Spygate now. That my campaign was infiltrated by the FBI. A spy went in there and it's infiltrated it, and also they're spying on me now because he keeps calling the investigation spying, right? The criminal investigation is spying. And also during the election there was a warrant. That is loud.
I know, right? I'm in a closet in my little studio, and I guess now the ambulances are going by honking their horns?
Maybe. But so during the campaign, Obama did have well, I don't know if Obama had anything to do with this, but the FBI were investigating the Russian oligarchs who were trying to influence our election because they really were trying to hack the election. This is a known fact. Like, I don't know why this is disputed anywhere because it's just a fact that they were trying to hack the election. So they were being looked at by intelligence with
Yeah.
legal warrants. But guess who decided to start talking to the Russians? Trump. Because he started talking to the Russians, they inadvertently started recording some of his conversations with them. And ergo, he's trying to say, see, they spied on my campaign. And so that's why he thinks that this whole thing should be shut down.
Well,
And that's what's so fucked up about this, because Rosenstein has to investigate his investigation of Trump because how do I put this? If he doesn't, then that's an excuse for Trump to fire him. And even if he does do it, if he finds nothing, Trump can fire him for finding nothing.
well, I mean, like that's the problem. Is like we said, he's above the law. He continues to break laws, and nothing happens. So when he breaks bigger laws, nothing happens.
Yeah. And a lot this week, especially earlier this week, people were starting to really talk about how it seems like he could just get away with everything by simply refusing to cooperate. He's not going to step down because he feels ashamed, because he feels no shame. And best case scenario, the biggest possible blue wave would still require 12 Republicans to have to flip in the Senate to impeach him, because it takes a 2/3 majority, 60%,
Well,
to
someone
say
someone
you
brought
got to
up
get out of
someone
there.
brought something up the other day, and it made me start thinking. And I was like, you know what? For this investigation to gain steam and to gain the support it needs, what if a few congressmen or senators were indicted or under indictment, caught up in this whole mess? Because I think you're going to start seeing the other rats jump off the sinking ship and maybe do the right thing. And I think maybe
It's,
that's where the investigation needs to start. Is it needs to spill over into Congress.
that could happen. I mean, that could explain why so many congressmen are not seeking re-election this year, because they know that like shit's about to get super bad and they don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
yeah. They
so
know it's pointless to even try, etc.
I know we keep jumping back and forth, but while we were talking about that, I found what I was looking for. So the idea of like forcing people into compulsory patriotic activities.
Yes.
Actually, I pulled it up in 1940 in Minersville School District versus
Yeah. The Supreme Court already said that this shit can't happen.
Yeah. So there was a Supreme Court thing that upheld a law requiring people to recite the Pledge of Allegiance in a school, and then the decision was overturned 3 years later. And I like what Justice Robert H. Jackson said. He said that to sustain the compulsory flag salute, we are required to say that a Bill of Rights, which guards the individual's right to speak in his own mind, left it open to public authorities to compel him to utter what is not in his own mind.
Yar.
And I'm like,
There you
yeah,
go. So this is something that they can actually fight. And I would love to see everyone, like, not only should this not go away, it should get much, much worse for the NFL. All the players should start taking a knee and seeing, just fucking daring the NFL to find them,
I
to
think it will, because at the end
tell
of the
them to go
day,
home.
you need these guys to play, and like if they're
Yeah.
fucking like,
You can't just easily replace them. You can replace them with amateurs, and no one's going to want to see those games. So
yeah.
these are really good players, and yeah, you can't just turn over an entire team like that. You need these people. You can replace a couple of them, but not all of them.
Yeah, I mean, like it's
And also, if they suddenly cancel an entire game, that would be the biggest shitstorm in history. Like, they're gonna lose sponsors.
yeah.
They're gonna piss off so many fans. Like a packed stadium of
Well,
people being told to go home. We can't have this game now.
so here's my thing: is like I happen to agree with the reason they're kneeling, but other people don't. And that's fine. You don't have to agree. You just cannot infringe upon their right to do, And also, I
Right.
don't understand how compulsory patriotism could be considered patriotism. It's a difference between having a
Yeah,
volunteer.
that's tyranny.
Yeah, it's a difference between having a volunteer army and a conscript army. Which one's going to fight harder? Which one's going to be better?
The volunteer.
Exactly, because they chose to be there. Patriotism doesn't mean anything if you're saluting the flag with a gun to the back of your head, like in North Korea.
Yep.
So you want to be like, oh, those people are being disrespectful. Actually, I think they're being incredibly respectful in that they are using the rights that people have fought and died for in the way that people fought and died for them to be used.
I mean, people always they never remember the rest of the saying. My country right or wrong. The quote is, "My country right or wrong. If right, keep it right. If wrong, make it right."
Yeah.
So they're showing more patriotism than the people that are all like, "I love my country so much that I want a completely different country, one that's not free."
Yeah. I love my country so much that, goddamn it, I want everyone to be told what to do. And so help me God, if you don't stand, we'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Because that's fucking freedom, buddy. I tell you what. You do what the goddamn government tells you to do, or we fucking kick. And that was the thing. Trump said, maybe the people that are taking a knee shouldn't even be in this country. Trump, you shouldn't be in this country. Go away.
Yeah.
Go away. Just go to an island. Leave.
That's actually what I'm hoping his end is that he washes up on an island out there in the ocean somewhere, just like a Randall Flagg at the end of
like
the
the end of The
Stand.
Shining. No, it's not in The Shining. The end of The Stand, and he's like, Bigley, I'm going to make you civilized.
Right, and of course we fade out before we see that they're all cannibals and they eat them, but...
Yeah.
Oh no, I was always right, they're cannibals.
Fucking, yeah, just... I want him to go away, and I want him to go to an island, and I want him to take all his fucking supporters with him, and then he can fucking stay there and do whatever the fuck you want.
Oh, like a really retarded Atlas Shrugged, right?
Yeah, something like that. But it's
So
just...
Atlas Shrugged is about all the smart people just saying fuck it and they go live somewhere. This will be all the dumb people just saying fuck it and they just go live somewhere and all shoot themselves on accident.
The problem is, whether you support him or not, you have to understand the incredible damage he's doing to our institutions. And I keep saying, it's like the lines on the road. If we don't believe in them, then they don't work, and traffic goes nowhere.
Right.
So
traffic will go wherever it feels like.
Yeah.
It's whenever you're driving down the correct side of the road, what's stopping you from going over to the incorrect side of the road? You're self-voluntarily following the law. Now, if you're on the wrong side of the road, the police can pull you over at that point. But what if we say, well, if you make it illegal to do that, then only criminals will do that, so let's not make it illegal. So now the police can't stop you when you're on the wrong side of the road because Second Amendment, so now it's okay to just drive wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah, did you hear, so I got some more, I guess that's cute news, you're like, oh, poor baby. Fucking Tommy Lauren?
That sounds familiar.
She is the crazy blonde Fox News firebrand that's always like, black people should be fucking grateful we don't fucking lynch them. Like, that's her kind of, like her style of just like craziness.
So
she doesn't say
average Fox News person.
Yeah. So apparently she went to a brunch in Minneapolis, and it was a drag brunch, I guess. And people were like, "Get the fuck out of here," because they hate her because she hates black people and she hates anybody in the LGBTQ community. But she was going to like a drag brunch, which seems weird. And somebody threw water on her. And she goes to Fox News and cries about it and goes, "You don't have to like me, and you don't have to throw things at me if you don't like my opinions." Oh yeah, so the people you're basically telling that they don't have any right to live, you go to their show and they chase you out by screaming shit at you like, they don't have to like me, they just have to not lady.
Yeah, get fucked, lady.
Yeah, get fucked. She goes, "It's really disheartening, but I'm tough. I can handle it." I go, "I don't think you can."
Yeah, I don't think she can. If you're like crying and belly aching over something, no, you can't handle it. That's not handling it.
She said, one of the people there goes, "If you say these types of things about not even just black people in general, but gays, lesbians, and all across the board, what do you expect at a drag brunch? Who do you think's going to be there?"
Good, honest, white Americans.
Donald J. Trump tweeted about it and goes, "Everybody is with Tommy Lauren, a truly outstanding and respected young woman." But you weren't with the...
Of course he took the time to weigh in on this.
Fucking psychos, man.
He is our TV president. His intelligence briefing is Fox News. He doesn't go. That's the one thing I'm happy about, is that he doesn't go to actual intelligence briefings anymore. He just watches Fox News, and all of his opinions come from there. That's why they had the special on caravans of Mexicans, and there he is tweeting about it and wanting to making policy decisions based on it. Like, we had to employ the National Guard for a stupid fucking fear porn that Fox News decided to put on just to scare old people.
Well, fucking, I don't know, man. That's why I want to roll out our website and our blog at a certain point. Because I was talking to somebody, I go, this is the only way I feel like I can resist is making a podcast that's listened to by like 14 people, and maybe that number will grow, and then eventually we'll have some real influence in the world.
But would you like to tell the listeners about the potential blog?
Yeah, guys. So I guess keep yourselves tuned, because either you'll be really excited about this, or you'll listen back.
Really disappointed.
Yes, you'll be disappointed as you listen back to this episode and go, the fuck? So we're actually working on rolling out the website and the Muckraker blog. We're trying to. We really want to just sort of expand our brand. And by expand our brand, I mean by going into another version of media that nobody pays attention to. Blogs and podcasts. Am I right, everybody?
Print media, it's going places. Out the door.
We're the voice in radio and print media. So
that's a stable job.
I just hope one day in the wasteland that is the United States, our blog is printed out and it's just blowing around and just like wraps around the ankle of the lone hero, and he just picks it up and it just says Bigley, 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 and he's like, ugh. And then the movie starts.
Trump era stuff.
Yeah, man. I think that's all the news for today. Was there anything else you wanted to cover and or plug?
Sweet Jeebus. Hold on, let me get back to my document.
I mean, yeah, I felt like we hit most of the big things. I like to start our wrap-up procedures before we get to it's been an hour and 60 minutes. And then it takes us another 45 minutes to fucking wrap up. So people are like, a 3-hour podcast? Jesus! And the last 45 minutes is just us talking about wrapping up the podcast.
We talked about how Trump called his wife Melanie, right?
I forgot all about that. You bring stuff up that I know and we just talked about. Yeah, he tweeted about Melanie's back with us. Your wife whose name is not Melanie.
Yep. Oh, the head of the Department of Homeland Security may quit. This is a fun thing. I read an article about this. The Homeland Security Secretary, oh God, that's a weird name, something Nelson, has privately complained that working for Trump is almost an impossible task, according to administration officials and others who spoke to the Washington Post and are said to be familiar with her thinking. The report also said that Nelson, who was reportedly berated by the president in front of other cabinet members over the subject of border enforcement, thinks that President Trump doesn't understand the nuances of immigration law.
Yeah, why can't we just set up machine guns and shoot anybody coming across?
Yeah,
because he doesn't.
Fun fact: Georgia may be the progressive leader of the United States soon.
Because, I heard about that.
So Stacey Abrams won the Democratic nomination for Georgia. So if she wins, she won't just be the first black woman governor of Georgia. She'll be the first black woman governor of any state in America.
Well,
ever. We've never had one.
What are they showing her chances in the general election?
Slim, but
slim.
Yeah, because it's a red state. And,
well, it's a red. Here's the thing: it's a red state with large blue areas. But you have to remember too that
those large blue areas were gerrymandered in such a way that their voices aren't heard.
Right. But do you remember the demographic that saved the election from a famous pedophile and tough guy in Alabama? What was his name?
Roy Moore.
Yeah, you know what? You know what group brought that election? You want to know?
Yes, it was black women.
Black female voters. So
yep.
The first black female possible governor of a deep red state. It depends on who comes out to vote, but again, we've got it all wrong.
She could do her.
She could do it. The people that are gonna save the country are black women. Honestly, man,
they did stop Roy Moore.
It could happen. They're slowly I don't know why there hasn't just been just like Superman is not now just a black woman, because apparently that's the only one who's got the fucking power and the ability to save our country from electing pedophiles to office.
I mean, they tried to make Spider-Man a black guy, and that didn't fly at all with a lot of comic book fans.
Yeah,
of course, some gave him a fair shake, but en masse, people were pissed that they were changing it out.
Yeah, people were mad that there was a black stormtrooper in a movie that took place in space where one of the main characters was a giant furry dude and the other one was a fucking robot. So, fuck people, man.
Yeah, I never understood that criticism of, oh God, I forgot his name. Poe?
I believe so, yeah. Poe Dameron.
Yeah. But
Yeah. Anyway, so if black women, if you're listening, Godspeed. Please continue to save us all. Flip Georgia, and the resistance the resistance will continue.
well, there's one other thing I'd wanted to talk about. I like sectioned it off. Dinner table discussions.
Oh, I was gonna say, was this the other Georgia governor candidate who was running an immigration bus as his platform?
Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention that because I didn't have it written down. But the Republican nominee is currently contested, so hopefully they can like cannibalize themselves and drag that out, and it'll be super
Well,
ugly
did the
and
guy
damage
with
them
the
both.
immigration bus, is he one of the leads, or did he just not get any votes at all?
That is a good question. I should Google it right quick.
Yeah, so there was a guy that fucking like was like, I got it, and he's doing the thing that people do, and we've talked about it before many times, and it's a mistake. He's trying to be Trump, and Trump don't work for nobody but Trump. You can't Trump.
Yep.
It doesn't work. You don't have what he has. So this guy bought a school bus, painted it, was like, immigration bus. I'm gonna fill this bus with illegals and send it back to Mexico. And so the best part of this whole thing was, in this stupid fucking shenanigan, was on the back of his bus, which I love. He's traveling in this bus. It's a campaign bus, but his campaign promise is when he's elected governor, he's going to fill it with illegal immigrants and send it back to Mexico. But on the back it says, beware, this bus is full of like rapists, murderers, like father rapers, mother rapers, like, just like all the worst people. Okay, so here's the problem with putting that on the back of your bus. Who primarily rides around in that bus the most?
Uh, the people that you're making fun of,
No, you and your
that you're talking shit
staff.
about. Oh, I don't know.
It's your campaign bus. So if it says inside are murderers, rapers, pieces of shit, you're inside the bus most of the time, dude.
Right. I was still looking up who if he won or not.
Well, did he? What was his name?
I don't know. I haven't found it yet. I just heard who rides on the bus that he's putting ads on. I'm like, Hispanics ride the bus? Oh, his campaign bus, right?
Yeah, he does, because he's a fucking moron. Um,
His name is Williams.
yeah,
What's
I'm
his
looking at
first
the back of
name?
the bus, and
Michael
it says on the very
Williams.
back, it says, "Follow me to Mexico, Michael Williams for governor," and then it says on one of the windows, "Danger: murderers, rapists, kidnappers, child molesters, and other criminals on board." I'm like, you're talking about yourself, you idiot! You're on that bus. Good. Maybe he will go back to Mexico.
The chances of this being a winning strategy are higher if Republican nominee steps in it. Fuck. It's not. This article is not telling me the Republicans that won.
Either way, I don't care about which Republicans won. Well, I mean, like, there was the other. So your choices are between the guy that's driving the rape bus, or the guy that had that weird commercial where, like, a young man is sitting next to him, and the guy's like, "I
He
got
has
a
a
couple."
shotgun.
Yeah, he's got a gun pointed at this kid. And he goes, "I got a couple simple rules for dating my daughter, and I got a couple simple rules for governing. Apparently, I point guns at civilians because I'm crazy." So yeah, those are your other options for fucking governor of Georgia.
Yep. I'm not seeing who won. Okay, screw it.
It
This
doesn't.
is
It
something I
doesn't
should have
matter.
looked up ahead of
It
time.
doesn't matter because I don't want either one of them. I want them both to lose. Here's the thing, and I will tell you, being from Georgia, you still being in Georgia, never underestimate a Georgian's ability to vote against his own self-interest.
Yep.
If the aliens from The Simpsons were running for governor of Georgia and they ran on the platform of like, we will eat all life forms in Georgia, they would fucking win.
Yeah, they'd win because the Democrats might use Obama to take away my guns.
You know
Or
what?
something
It's
like
better
that.
an alien you know that will eat your children than an illegal immigrant that you don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so dinner table discussions. Fox likes to say that Trump will keep winning so long as he's winning so-called dinner table discussions, which namely was used during the tax scam bill, in which the GOP massively increased taxes for the poor and middle class while giving a huge tax cut to the phenomenally wealthy.
Yeah, that everyone is just like, yeah, this isn't helping at all.
Right. So the first year that it goes into effect, not this year but next, you will see a small, teeny tiny tax cut for the middle class, nothing for the poor, and huge tax cut for the wealthy. But as time goes on, the wealthy's tax cut will just stay in place, and the middle class and poor will pay more and more and more. And not only that, but their benefits will have to be cut. So things like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, retirements, all that has to be like axed in order to keep paying for the huge tax cuts
Right.
that the wealthy get.
So
And
it's like a
this doesn't really go into effect until when the Republicans predict a Democrat will be in charge again, so the Democrat will be left with the bill that the GOP created again, like they always fucking do.
it's like I always say when it comes to stuff the government's doing. The government is a greedy fucking tick that is living off of your hard work, right?
Right.
The tick's not going to take less blood. Like, so when they propose tax cuts or whatever the fuck else, they're not going to take less money. They're going to balance the budget on someone else. And it's probably going to be the person that has the least amount of money to influence the government's decision, i.e. the poor and the middle class, right? Because you can always turn the middle class against the poor, and if you're rich, you can always buy what you want. Yeah, control the narrative.
The rich can cut you checks if you do them favors, and they can also pay to have you booted out of office by campaigning for your opponents if you go work against them. So because they have so much power and influence over you, you're stuck having to do whatever they want. We're in this weird plutocracy. But anyway, never mind the plutocracy that we're under right now. The point I was getting to is that these dinner table discussions, they only had that whenever it was like to their advantage. Now that gas prices are starting to go up, they're not really talking about it, because right now he would be losing the dinner table discussions. So we talk about this sometimes. It's like whenever people say, well, how has Trump hurt you personally?
Oh, yeah, how has he hurt you personally now in your life? Is he hurting you right now?
It's like, well, now, I'm a white male, and so, things are about the same. However, they've only been about the same. Besides the fact that if you have empathy for other people, you can feel really bad knowing that a lot of people are being hurt. But never mind that.
I'm not a small Guatemalan child that's being threatened with rape by a uniformed border agent, but I don't like that happening in my fucking country.
Right. And also now Trump saying, well, also after you're done raping that child, destroy the evidence. I'm giving you permission.
And by that anyway, I mean the child. Destroy him. He's the evidence.
Yep, that's what that monster would do. But okay, so how's he but now he is actually affecting us personally by hiking up gas prices, by destabilizing the Middle East through fucking up the Iran deal, through fucking up the everything he's doing over there that's destabilizing the Middle East is going to increase our gas prices, and they're only going to keep going up.
Yep.
And
so thanks, Trump. Thanks for that.
That will very likely lead to another big recession. Because remember, right before the 2008 recession, that gas was like $6 a gallon.
That's fine. You know what? Bring on the fucking recession. Let's get it. If we're going to get some recession, let's get it right now. I want to get it while Trump's in office. I want to see him be president during a recession to a depression. Bring it the fuck on. Let's go. Come on, man. Let's lose it all. Let's gamble it, baby. I'm going to Vegas. Let's do it.
Yep, that's exactly what I want to see too. That way he won't have anything, because he was able to say for a long time and say, look at how great the economy is doing under me. That's because it was doing amazing under Obama.
I threw up in my mouth the other day because they're like, thanks to the Trump bump. And I'm like, go fuck yourself. All right, we got to call it now. What are we going to call it when it drops off because of Trump? So you got the Trump bump. What do you got? What kind of alliteration do you got that sounds real good?
The Trump dump.
Yep. All right, guys. We're going to start a countdown clock on our website called Countdown to the Trump Dump. And that's going to be basically when we have another stock market crash.
Where he shits our economy down the toilet.
Yeah, so that's fine, because right now they're repealing all the Dodd-Frank and stuff. So it's.
I wonder if he's going to blame it on Obama. It's Obama-era regulations that caused the economy to crash. All of my policies were making it really good.
Here's the thing, though. All right, when you think of Herbert Hoover, what do you think of?
The dam.
Oh, you think of the dam? Well, most people think of the Depression and how Hoover fucked it up and how we named little shanties people were living in Hoovervilles. And I read a thing where they were like, Hoover was actually an amazing humanitarian. I go, yeah, no one gives a shit because he was a fucking Depression era president that didn't do a goddamn thing. So it doesn't matter how much you love Trump or whatever. When the Trump dump happens, we're gonna just remember him as the guy that was like, "We're all living in shanties. We're all living in fucking tiny little Trump towers." That's what we're gonna call him.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, that's gonna
So,
be wonderful. It's
yep.
like, all
So
right.
that's the fucking news. Go
In
ahead.
this episode of the Muckrakers, I'm eating my old shoes while crying. How are you holding up, Peter?
You know what? I'd just like to say that no one makes better boot stew than the good people of Trump Tower in the what I call my little shanty.
God, that's right. He was trying to say that there's so many weird little things that happened during the campaign, like the taco bowl at Trump Tower. So
Yeah.
people went there to like order a taco bowl. So they're like, well, I hear that they don't make better taco bowls anywhere else, but here they didn't serve them. They didn't serve them. That's not a thing
That
that's
was
on the
my
menu.
favorite part. Was somebody tweeted like, "They don't even serve taco bowls, you fucking liar!"
Yeah. So it's like he just lies about even unimportant shit like that. Why did they ever think that he would be a good president?
I don't know, but of all the lies he's told, that's the one I'm angriest about. Is like, 'cause a taco bowl at Trump Tower sounds real good, and they're not even real. You son of a bitch.
At least we'll always have the commemorative coins that his dopey followers were chanting no bell over, right? The
Were
Trump.
they chanting "No Bell"?
Yeah.
Ah, fuck you. Get me a taco bowl.
At least we'll always have the commemorative coin, which went on discount, by the way. And as soon as word got out that it had gone on discount on the White House website, their website crashed because so many people wanted to buy one. Just
Yeah.
ironically.
Just wanted to buy it ironically, yeah, as the fucking peace talk that never happened. Well, that's this week's taco bowl. And, you'll never find a finer taco bowl than you will in the Muckraker Studios, i.e. my closet in Brooklyn.
It's the best, I tell you. They don't have better taco bowls anywhere else. Boot stew from the Trump dump.